you're saying?
No, I'd say women who have had their relationships impaired, their relationships with men impaired, and who are afraid of such relationships will settle for a weak partner because they can dominate them. But it's a suboptimal solution.
People, this is the one for all of those people who had ever proposed a girl and got rejected. बहुत से लड़के जिन्होंने कभी ना कभी किसी ना किसी लड़की को प्रपोज किया अपने प्राइम में और फिर रिजेक्ट हो गए. I'm making this video because what happens under these circumstances is that we are very, very quick and rapid so as to label, brand, condemn and tag the girl with a lot of negative connotations and all the negative adjectives. ऐसे conditions के अंदर हम लड़की को बहुत सारे गलत टैग देते हैं. और to make matters worse, we also have our friends and family members, our relatives, जो हमें fake solace और consolation देते हैं कि नहीं लड़की सही नहीं थी या तेरे को और better लड़कियां मिल जाएंगी. What I call this is a ad hominem fallacy. ये एक ad hominem fallacy होती है जहाँ पर आप कोई काम नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो अपनी वीकनेस को छुपाने के लिए आप दूसरे की इमेज को मलाइन करना शुरू कर देते हो. I tell you exactly that this is an absolute abject and very, very poor explanation for a miserable condition that you have put yourself into, and the proper and more correct explanation for this situation will be as follows, which is a lot more deeper and purer. So if I have to sum it all up in just 3 words, it will be women are nature. लड़कियां कुदरत हैं. So what does it mean? I know that it is not helping you a lot, but it actually, let me give you an example of this. For example, what is nature? Nature is mountains and rivers. This is nature. And it's very, very tyrannical and diabolical when it is exposing itself and exhibiting itself in its true essence. अगर आप let's say एक river के पास आके खड़े हो जाते हैं and if you want to cross the river onto the other side, there are only just 2 options available. One is that you will be able to cross the river, the second you won't be able to. अगर आप river को cross नहीं कर पाते हो, so what happens is that you start to cover up your weakness by saying that oh ये river तो बहुत तूफान मारती है, ये बहुत गहरी है, मैं डूब के मर जाऊंगा, मुझे swimming नहीं आती. You will have all the sort of lame excuses, but that doesn't really matter because the river is going to stay just like that, will keep on flowing. It doesn't really care about what you have to say and all your weaknesses. You can just go and get lost. On the other hand, there will be some set of people, वो लोग जो बहुत ज़्यादा brainy होंगे, they will be able to craft a raft or maybe rent a boat or a ship or something like that. Maybe they'll swim to the other side, and they will be able to conquer the river itself. That's actually nature. So what happened in the process? In the process, the nature actually allowed to अपलिफ्ट योर स्टैंडर्ड्स. आपके स्टैंडर्ड्स लिफ्ट अप हुए और आपने अपने स्टैंडर्ड्स को मैच अप किया नेचर के साथ. नेचर इज नॉट गोना रिवर वहां जाके रुक नहीं जाएगी कि रुक जाती हूं मैं और भाई तू मुझे क्रॉस कर जा. द सेम एग्जांपल आल्सो गोस टू माउंटेन. फॉर एग्जांपल, यू हैव गॉट अ माउंटेन, लेट्स जस्ट से माउंट एवरेस्ट. यू वांट टू क्लाइम इट एंड यू कैन नॉट क्लाइम इट जस्ट लाइक दैट. सो द माउंट एवरेस्ट इज नॉट गोइंग टू लोअर इटसेल्फ डाउन. वो नीचे नहीं आ जाएगी कि ठीक है सनप्रीत तू नहीं चढ़ पा रहा तो एक काम कर, मैं नीचे आ जाती हूँ, तो एक कदम रख, मैं तू चढ़, मैं तेरे को ऊपर ले जाऊंगा फिर से. दिस इज नॉट हाउ इट बेसिकली वर्क्स. यू हैव टू गो थ्रू अ लॉट ऑफ difficult situations so as to establish yourself that you have actually gained something, so that you can hoist the flag of your bloody country on the top of the Mount Everest. And what happens once you do this? See, once you do this thing, you get a lot of admiration and adulation from all the quarters of the bloody world. पूरी दुनिया के लोग आपकी वाहवाही करते हैं. आपको बहुत ज़्यादा रिस्पेक्ट मिलती है. आप हर तरह से जो आपकी करेज होती है आप उसके अंदर लीन हो जाते हैं. दिस इज एग्जैक्टली हाउ द वर्ल्ड बेसिकली वर्क्स. यू हैव टू कीप ऑन पुशिंग योर स्टैंडर्ड्स अप. And this is exactly the case with girls as well. लड़कियां भी nature है and they are not going to lower their standards just because you are a weak person. So people, the same actually goes for girls as well. They have got an extremely gigantic and immense responsibility of bearing a child. They have to give birth to a child and they have to be very sure that once they bring the child into this bloody brutal world, the child has to be very safe and secure. It has to be brought up like that, and that's exactly why they have this very innate and internal quality with which all the women of this entire world are born with, to segregate the weak from the wheat from the chaff, the weak from the strong. And it's very very clear. तभी आप देखेंगे कि जो लड़कियां होती है वो अपने आप ऑटोमेटिक होती हैं कि वो कभी भी वीक पर्सन के साथ अलाइन नहीं करेंगे, अपने आप को स्ट्रॉन्ग के साथ करेंगे, बिकॉज दे नो दैट a strong person who's able to pull up his own weight will also be able to take care of her and also the child as well. And this is exactly what makes the family and also allows the humanity to move forward. This is exactly how the world goes. And I said that girl are nature because girl control the birth directly, and whatever nature say you have to bow down to it. You don't really have any alternative to that. That being said, there are certain cases जहाँ पे लड़कियां weak men के साथ शादी करती हैं या उसको ऑप्ट करती हैं, और दैट्स एन एक्सट्रीमली सब ऑप्टिमल सोल्यूशन टू अ वेरी वेरी हार्ड एंड अ लॉन्ग टर्म प्रॉब्लम. इसका क्लासिकल एग्जांपल ऑफ कोर्स बनता है अभिषेक बच्चन और ऐश्वर्या राय बच्चन का. यू जस्ट वट एवर यू आर सीइंग राइट नाउ दीज डेज इज समथिंग दैट वाज लॉन्ग ओवरड्यू. ये बहुत पहले हो जाना चाहिए था, बट ये अब अनफॉर्चुनेटली या फॉर्चुनेटली वट एवर आपको देखने को मिल रहा है. इसकी फुल लेंथ में मैं अगेन दूसरे वीडियो में बात करूंगा, बट आई जस्ट वांट टू सम इट ऑल अप इन दिस मच दैट वो लड़कियां who had whoever had any sort of abusive relationship, they tend to settle for weak partners, and tend to settle for weak partners majorly because they are able to control them, because there is intense momentary pleasure in such circumstances. ज्यादातर लड़कियां जिनका एक किसी भी abusive relationship के अंदर बहुत शोषण और exploitation हुआ था, वो weak partners को choose करती हैं, लेकिन ये एक बहुत ही suboptimal solution होता है long term problem के लिए.
What you're saying.
No, I'd say women who have had their relationships impaired, their relationships with men impaired, and who are afraid of such relationships will settle for a weak partner because they can dominate them. But it's a suboptimal solution.
और ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ, ये जॉर्डन पीटरसन कह रहे हैं. He has got a great degree of experience because he's a very, very, very successful clinical psychologist, and he's also a social scientist, and he's got a lot of backing of a lot of textbooks that he has read, the experimental issues that he has taken first, and he knows exactly how the girl behave in what kind of circumstances. So what I want to tell you is that जो अभी अभिषेक बच्चन और ऐश्वर्या राय बच्चन के बीच में हुआ, वो इसलिए हुआ था क्योंकि ऐश्वर्या राय बच्चन was in an extremely abusive relationship with Salman Khan. She could not offer Vivek Oberoi because he was not having any standing whatsoever of himself. And जो Abhishek Bachchan tha, he was having a tag of Bachchan family. But if you look and if you isolate Abhishek Bachchan from every damn thing that he's having in his life, his father अलग करो उन्हें, उसकी मदर को अलग करो, उसकी जितना भी गिफ्ट उसको मिला है जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द बर्थ दैट ही हैज टेकन इन दैट एलीट फैमिली, अगर सबको अलग कर दिया जाए, यू विल लुक एट अभिषेक बच्चन एंड ही इज एब्सोल्युटली नोबडी. He has no talent whatsoever. He has absolute miserable condition. If you look at him, he will not be able to survive in any sphere of this damn world. The only reason he has been able to survive for this long is majorly because of majorly because of the backing of his own political mother or his successful film star father. That's the only thing, and that is the reason that she also got married to. That is the only, and that is also the reason why Aishwarya married him. But the thing is that alone that person is not able to take up his own damn weight. So that's exactly why whatever we are seeing right now, the Nimrod court case is basically something that should have happened a long time ago, but it just happened very late. But it had to happen. This is exactly how nature plays cruel games with you. And in the closing talk, I will just say that if a girl rejects you, do not feel offended. उस चीज को फिगर आउट करो कि लड़की क्या चाहती है. लड़की चाहती है सेफ्टी और सिक्योरिटी. एक बहुत अच्छा सा एक्सपेरिमेंट हुआ था जहां पे लड़कों से पूछा गया था कि आप लड़की में क्या देखते हो. लड़कियों से पूछा गया था कि आप लड़कों में क्या देखते हो. तो लड़कियों की लिस्ट के अंदर लड़कों की लुक्स 8th या 9th पोजीशन पर आई थी आउट ऑफ 10. और उनके लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज थी कि लड़का कितना कमाता है, टेक्निकली उसकी वेल्थ कितनी है, सोशल स्टेबिलिटी कितनी है. लेकिन जब लड़कों के साथ ही सेम एक्सपेरिमेंट किया गया था तो उन्होंने कहा कि ये लड़की कैसी दिखती है इज वाज देयर फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी. सो गर्ल्स हैव सेड दिस थिंग ओवर एंड ओवर अगेन. इवन इफ यू लुक एट द एवोल्यूशनरी हिस्ट्री, बिकॉज इट इज एक्चुअली देयर इनसाइड ऑफ अ बोन. ये हमारे बायोलॉजी के अंदर एग्जिस्ट करता है कि लड़कियां हमेशा, पहले क्या हुआ करता था प्री एवोल्यूशनरी टाइम्स के अंदर या अर्ली एवोल्यूशन प्री हिस्टोरिक हिस्ट्री के अंदर, अगर हम झांक कर देखते हैं, what we get to see is only one thing, and that is कि जो लड़कियां हुआ करती थी वो उस लड़के के साथ जाया करती थी जो लड़का फिजिकली बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रांग होगा. तो तभी दो मर्द आया करते थे ना, दो कबीलों से, ट्राइबलिज्म बहुत ज्यादा हुआ करता था. तो दो आएंगे और एक दूसरे से लड़ेंगे, और वो जो टसल में जो निकल के आएगा, ही विल बी एबल टू ग्रैब अवे द गर्ल. या कोई उसने और हेरोइक काम किया होगा जिसमें मस्कुलर पावर थी. लेकिन आज की डेट में वी डोंट हैव टू अप्लाई मसल्स. इट्स ऑल टेक्नोलॉजी. इट्स ऑल, there are other means of exerting your power. There are other means of earning money, and money is basically a literal translation of power itself. So a person who's holding a lot of money, a social wealth, or famous he is, or let's say he's in some of the other famous political quarter, he will be able to have a lot of things. That's why you will see a lot of girls will opt for Shah Rukh Khan today, even though he's 60 years old, because he's able to promise a lot of safety and wealth to the girls, in comparison to any person, let's just say, who's even 20 years old and who probably looks even better than Shah Rukh Khan. Maybe he looks like Brad Pitt himself, but that doesn't really matter to girls anymore, man. Girls don't really go on your look; they go on what you can actually do, what you are right now, specifically in terms of wealth, safety, and security. So I hope you got the point. Thank you.